How about this? Ah, that's recording. Okay, so now we are actually recording. So, hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis 4, where we are playing as the Pirate Daimyo, formerly known as So, and now known as Japan. And we are indeed still pirates. We are the Pirate Republic. I'm trying desperately to remember what happened, because I have not played this for about 2 weeks, possibly even 3 weeks now. The last time I did this was while I was still in the US, and I've been, well, not back for 2 weeks. I had PDXCon, then I did EU4. So if you have any questions about EU4 and what their plans are in the future from stuff that I heard at PDXCon, please do ask. Just be aware that they didn't actually say very much. EU4 was rather conspicuously lacking from the presentations and things that they gave. Okay, so I think one of the things is we are trying to tech up. So colonialism has already spread to us, as has the Renaissance. Printing press has not, but we are getting printing press here in the north, which will then spread to the rest of us, thanks to Portugal. Alright, we also have armies. They are training just the infantry right now. That makes sense. We are still making money. What's the year? 1649. So we're on the verge of getting manufactories. So we are desperately trying to build more manufactories, I believe. And they cost 488 each. But we do have a fair number of them, and we are building a bunch at the moment too. So I think we can basically just keep skipping forwards. We are still pirating Ming with privateers. And then also, when can we raid next? That would be the next question. 57, so another 8 years. Okay, cool. And there is actually a great big recording button next to start stream. It's just like, you know how video cameras have like the little red circle with rec in it? It's one of those next to start stream in words, which is a great big button. That's how I missed the recording thing. I'm noticing it now. That's how I can stop it. We are also working on maritime ideas, but I think the main thing right now we need to do is catch up in technology. Am I actually trying to wait until this gets adopted everywhere? Possibly. Hey, Cleanus. Oh, and highlighting text in the chat thing is different too. Manufactories on the 5th of January. While a number of technical innovations during the course of the 16th and 17th centuries has increased the output of production for some products, such as iron and cloth, to an extent the biggest improvement in the field of production has come in the form of new forms of organisation. By creating manufactories, often outside the city limits, merchant capitalists can both bypass the ancient guild laws that prevent mass production in principle, as well as pioneer new ways to increase production through organisation and specialisation of labour in one place. The forerunners of the later industrialisation are able to increase output by facilitating access to raw materials and mass organisation of labour rather than expensive new machinery. This is, in itself, a huge change over how heavily regulated methods of old. However, and together with later technological advances, this new mode of production will come to revolutionise society. That's a super early manufactories. Interesting. But we do have several places which are already embracing manufactories, particularly in the south and also in Korea. So what I think we should probably do is set all of these places to institution spread effort, so that we can get them as quickly as possible. Does mean that we'll have a slight loss in terms of finances, but I think that this is probably worth it. And that should already be advancement effort. Okay, good. And where did manufactories actually spawn? Augsburg, so we are going to suffer some penalties. We're gaining 0.33 a month. would have been 0.6 if it was on the same continent. But once we get it in at least one place, then it will start to expand a little bit further elsewhere. Hey, Hosson. And the music seems to be super quiet right now. Let's turn that up slightly. Alright, we are now losing money, but that is kind of an acceptable loss. And we can always visit the Bank of Ming when we need to. And we can hit them again in 6 years' time, at which point we will have more than enough money to do whatever it is that we need to do. Great Britain, coldest period of the Little Ice Age. The winters have been getting longer and colder for as long as anyone can remember. As ice and snow once again creep further south, the winter crops are becoming ruined. Wine is being spoiled and the fish are begun migrating to warmer waters. Grain, livestock, wine, fish prices go up. Salt and fur... Sorry, go down. Salt and fur goes up. Neither of which I think we produce. Except maybe salt. Unfortunately, we do a lot of livestock and foodstuffs. There is really not a lot of salt out here. Huh. Lots more of it around Europe. Ah, yes, the donation goal. Thank you very much for reminding me. This is something I'd meant to talk about. So I am currently in the process of trying to save up for a new CPU, as the donation goal says rather clearly there in the top kind of right, next to the date. I'm trying to get the i9 9900, which is one of the very much top-of-the-range CPUs, and that is to make the streams go a little bit smoother, especially with more modern games. High-end CPUs are very useful for streaming, and more importantly for me, to make sure that YouTube videos get rendered more quickly, because I am spending an absolutely obnoxious amount of time rendering videos at the moment, and that would definitely make that whole process rather more quick. And I would very much appreciate any support and assistance that you guys can help me in achieving that. I haven't really used financial goals on stream before, so I thought I'd give it a try. Usually that's a Patreon thing. And that was also one of the reasons I upgraded to Streamlabs OBS, so that I can see how exactly this system works. And so far I'm really impressed. So before, you remember, I was always spending several minutes before the start of a stream sorting out like the notifications, and then the main preview, and then chat. That's all in one window now, so I can just look over at my other monitor, which is just Streamlabs OBS. It has the chat on there, it has the feed for notifications on there, it has the various volumes for desktop output, which is actually the music and stuff, and then also the microphone. It's really good. Wouldn't the AMD be better for rendering videos? Yes, it would, potentially. I'm just more comfortable with Intel, because it's just what I've always used. And they're about the same. Plus, the i9 is actually, I think, slightly better for streaming. So Intel's better for streaming, whereas the AMD is better for rendering. Is this for my Patreon? No, this is separate. This is Twitch. This is streams. A Grand Admiral rules over a nation of thieves and murderers, so we can keep the current person in power. They are young. Republican tradition could do with being a little bit better, however. So I think what we're going to do is bring in a new diplomat. So that we can work towards the maritime ideas. We can only store up to 1530, so we are getting kind of close to our limit, so I think I'm going to go ahead and grab another idea, and we'll leave it at that for the time being. Hey, Faceless. Wow, you're having a really bad week at the moment, Faceless. I'm sorry to hear that. On the day the computer died, the grandma had a heart attack. She's okay and recovering. Well, I'm glad that she's okay and recovering. Because that would have been one hell of a double whammy otherwise. Oh yeah, and I'm converting stuff too. How much do I still need to convert? Quite a lot. We also need to think about where we want to expand in the future. I think I want to continue kind of going into perhaps Indonesia so that I can have a hunting ground from here. Maybe going after Majapahit, seeing as that's the last of their... Oh no, it's not the last of their provinces. Or Brunei. I mean, generally I do like going for the centers of trade. So maybe going after the two provinces here in the far north, in Malacca. Especially as Nippon feeds into Hangzhou, feeds into Malacca. Not necessarily sure that I'd want to push money going in that direction, however. Convert the heretics of Suigan to the one and only true faith. Cool. The other option, of course, would be just to take one of these islands. That one especially would be really good because it's so central. Or better yet, would be a place like this, which crosses over two different zones. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We could reach all of that. This one would be better. It would allow us to reach more of Indonesia. Has the Kaiserreich mod had any updates to Asia? When am I planning to do a Trans-Samoa playthrough? When the China update drops, which should be somewhere around the end of November, early December. So no Asia until then. I was going to donate, but Streamlabs is trying to subscribe me to the Pro system for $6. Really? So how does the... Ah! Hey, Helson, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Good way of getting the donation drive working. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I don't know how that donation thing works. Is it just a link in my description? Because I was thinking, can you click on the new CPU icon thing? But I'm going to guess probably not. I'm going to need to check that. Twitch. Mordred Viking. Yeah, you should just be able to click on the donate thing and it should just send money. Don't click any of the extra message boondoggles for the donation thing, you don't need to do the pro. Oh, is that the gifts? Because yeah, it should just be username, amount, message. Send. Nice Kappa. Okay. Well, hopefully that's easy enough to use. The other thing I should probably do is move a couple of things around. Bear with me just a second. Let's get you and bring you up here. Try that. Alright, onwards. Hi, Mastani. Alright, so how are we going to expand exactly? Because we don't have Imperialism CVs yet. That's going to be a little bit later on. Could try to get into Brunei. Yeah, we need to have the neighbouring province to do that. Going after Ming has been fairly easy, but going after other people is going to be a bit harder. We would need to try and get this province from Ayutthaya. In fact, if we go after Ayutthaya, we could just go for some provinces like down here, which would significantly expand our potential operations. So who's Ayutthaya allied to? Luang Prabang, which I'm going to assume is somebody fairly small. That. It's a slightly different shade of green. Okay. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have to get into a fight against Ayutthaya. You're about to be capped out. I think in that case, let's go and spend some military development. That'll do for now. That'll also boost the amount of manpower we have, which would be nice. No CB, best CB. Yeah, I don't like doing no CBs. I always feel like cheating. Have I colonized Hawaii? We're not doing colonization. It's a little bit too easy with Japan. I want this to be militaristic. But I think first thing we're going to do is have the war against Ming. Because we need to raise money so that we can embrace the two institutions that we are still missing. Flint Glass and Lead Crystal. Glassmakers in Savoy have started using flintstone and sand together with lead to create a clear, easily worked and flawless product. This new method is rapidly changing the existing major glass-producing centres of the world as markets are flooded with this new and very popular product. So Savoy makes a bunch of money, but the price of glass plummets. Wow, 65%. That's quite a lot. Well, we have 67% manufacturers in Kyoto already. Crikey, that's a lot. How have we got that so quickly? 2.4 a month. Have a textile manufactory that's not in the same continent as manufacturing origin. 1.25. I guess it's just because this is quite a big province. For centuries, paper mills have relied on mechanical hammers to beat lumpen paper pulp, crushing the fibre to create the raw material needed to then create paper. Using the local windmills for power, enterprising artisans from Lucca have now devised a more efficient solution, what they call the Ferries Beater. It's a vat with a wind-powered horizontal roller with blades. These blades can shred as much pulp in hours as the old hammers used to in days. What's the goal of this playthrough? Initially it was to survive, bearing in mind that we started as the island of Tsushima out here. Now it's to kind of mess Ming up. I would like to force another Ming-splosion if I can. I think that's a worthy goal. Let's do another Ming-splosion. Corruption. Corruption is one of the most common and frequent factors of political and economic life. Never in history has this been more prominent than in times of the feudal regimes. I would much rather lose the reform progress, thank you, although that does bite a bit, seeing as we're on the verge of getting the next one, which is going to be this one. So we have either citizenry, which is even more morale for armies, or manpower recovery speed. Both of them good, but we in Japan tend to go for more elite forces, so I'm definitely going to go for the armies. And we could be converting again, so I'm going to say go ahead and do that. Bamboozle Ballet coming in with a donation as well. Thank you very, very much for that. For the CPU. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Definitely looking forward to getting that upgrade. The CPU I'm using at the moment is 4 years old. A reform has been revoked. Revoked? Wow. Interesting. Has anything further been said about the HRE changes? I'm trying to think if there's been another dev diary, but there hasn't, has there? Unless I've missed it. And admin's the one getting a little bit close this time. So I think it's probably time that we spent a little bit of admin points. That should do. Keeps those numbers down. Also increases the strength of our economy. And increases our development. Which we now have 643. Are we a great power yet? We will be. We would actually jump all the way to 7th. Well, Ming's in the same position that we are, so we would jump to 8th. Well, actually, no. Ming would just leap up to 4th, pushing everyone down, so I'd still be 7th. And we're not that far behind Portugal either. And I'm guessing that Portugal's just as big as Portugal is because of colonies. Yeah, there is a fair amount of colonization going on. And that is a scary France. Rains bring fertility to San Yodo. Cool. And Germany is just a mess. That's one hell of a Venice. I am so proud of this Venice. They've had a great game, and Austria just doesn't exist. So Great Britain's been encroaching on France. France has been seriously encroaching in Spain, and Spain's just been going, "Stop hitting me!" When can I raid again? I think it was 3 years' time? 57. Yeah, end of 57. Which game do I like better, CK2 or EU4? EU4, definitely. As people probably noticed the last time I did CK2 and I just got frustrated within the first 2 hours or so and then switched over to Hearts of Iron. See on Discord you have to schedule 2 Hearts of Iron 4 tutorials but not streaming them. That just means people know that I am planning to record that. Because I've been promising to do it for years. So I've effectively just taken a day off of streaming so that I could get those recorded. Election! So we could keep this chap again, or we could continue boosting our Republican tradition. I think that's what we're going to do, especially as he's 62. The previous ruler would have been much better one to re-elect. Are today's YouTube videos coming later? Weren't there any today? Oh, he's righteous. Oh, nice. There should have been some today. I think. I checked it last night. Oh. Yeah. EU4 published today. And... God, I hate this new system. Bring me back to Studio Classic, please. Thank you. So there is an EU4 for today and for tomorrow. And I'm going to have to go back, like, months. Oh, and of course a bunch of my stuff's been demonetized. God damn it. August 18th. Yeah, sorry, all the uploads are a little bit balked because I'm like in that transition period from having been away for almost 2 months and now actually being back and trying to schedule everything properly. So the last ones went up on the 27th, you're right, there is a gap. Okay, yeah, we'll just have to miss today and then they'll be up as normal tomorrow. Because I can't upload them while I'm streaming, it will screw with my bandwidth. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I thought I had another day or two, because it's slightly out of step. I have, I guess, slightly more EU4 videos queued up than I did for Hearts of Iron. So, tomorrow. They'll be back tomorrow. Were they war games or something a Snowflake would be offended by? It was, I think... It was Hearts of Iron, it was the Dutch. The trial. The most noble Grand Admiral, your eldest son is on trial for corruption and bribery. I would like to see him acquitted, please. Or not. Any colonies? No, makes it too easy as Japan. E4 might just be the best game ever. I would actually agree with you there. I think it's rather excellent. Did we ever upgrade this fort completely? Okay, so we got all of the manufactories from the last round of smashing Ming, which is great. And this is not available until Miltech 19. We're on 17, although we are a bit behind. Ming is actually ahead of us for military technology now. And if Ming can get to my forts over here, that could cause us some problems. Although we will have a huge army in comparison to the last time we did this. Huzzah! An hour's done, and we also have another mission, which is build manufactories. Gain 1,500 ducats. Don't mind if I do. Have 1,000 development. Okay. Well, now we have the money to embrace when it is time to do so. 83%. Manufactories, right. So Kyoto's already got it. So manufactories should spread pretty quickly everywhere else now. So I'm going to sit on the cash. Jackson coming in with a 15-month Twitch Prime resubscription. Thank you very, very much for that. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, boy. Do I know that I'm streaming at 720 instead of 1080? I did not realize. Thank you for telling me. I will check that out in a minute. I would rather have the temporary fort disrepair. Thanks, especially as it's on mainland Japan. Alright, Stream OBS, why you do this to me? It must have used the settings I had on the laptop. Okay, I'm just going to stop the stream real quick, so don't go anywhere. I will be right back. I'm just going to switch it back to